All right, hey, this is Matt with Double J Repairs. So I'm here with the 2018 Expedition. It's the Limited Max. It's got the EcoBoost that I hate. But anyways, I just have the tires off because it's getting new tires at the shop. But the fuel pump decided to go out the same day. So we've already troubleshot we emptied the fuel tank, put new gas in it and tried it. It's not new gas. We changed out the high pressure fuel pump. Didn't help. That's actually a pretty easy, quick change. So now we're gonna pull the tank and change the fuel sending unit in the tank, which is where the filter is as well from my research. So we'll find out for sure. I've already had it up in the air and looked and see if I could find the fuel filter just to change that as a starting point. Everything we found online is that it's inside the tank, but there's not a whole lot of information or videos out on this, so I hope this helps somebody. But here we go. I'm gonna get it up in the air. You know, if you don't have a lift, I'm lucky enough to have a lift. But if you don't have a lift, just jack it up, 4 jack stands, and then make sure it's nice and stable before you get underneath it. But you'll need enough room to where you can drop that tank down to get to that sending unit on the top. So here we go. So here we are underneath. This is the back of the tank. You've got the fuel fill. It's a 5/16 nut. And then this is the breather overfill. Should be able to just press both sides. We'll find out for sure here in a minute. Lucky for me, I live down a dirt road, so everything's nice and clean. We'll figure this out here in just a second. Look at that. And then we'll move. We got the straps here. Move to the front of the tank. And we've got the 2 fuel lines. They should disconnect right here. There's one of them. And this is a disconnect as well right here. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm sure it'll be a pain. All right. I am waiting on a couple of tools and some parts that are coming. So I'm just gonna start by disconnecting everything that I think, and I'm also gonna drain the tank. I drained it earlier, but I put 4 gallons of good fuel in it just to see. But I can't even get fuel to the engine right now. Those look like. I'll get you some more information here in a minute. All right, we're gonna start by taking off this. This against the fuel fill hose, and then we'll drain it. I'll have to shut that door. Too much wind today. I'll slide that back out of the way again. It's dirty. Hang on. I need a camera person. Sorry guys, there you go. All right, I bent that up like this to get it out there. Then we gotta figure out how that hose disconnects. Give me a second, I'll get back to you on that. All right, to remove the breather hose, there's 2 red tabs. You just press in on the sides and it does it for you. So you just press these 2 tabs and pull back. There's the fill tube and the breather tube on the back. Now let's drain what's in the tank. So I'll show you my setup for siphoning. I got a clear hose and I'm gonna feed that into the tank. So let's do that real quick. We're just gonna feed it in the fill line. Trying not to make a mess. I was siphoning earlier, so just feed that in. Oh, I'm making a mess. Hang on. Okay, so I fed the hose in as far as I could. And then I'm gonna come down here. I've drilled a little hole right there. And what I'm gonna do is take my air hose. I'm gonna stick it in that hole and create an Venturi effect where the air movement sucks the water out. I think that's what they call it, Venturi approved. I'm gonna try to hold this and see if I can't show you what I'm doing. Or it may take a couple cuts. All right, now that we got it. Oh shoot. Once we got it going, it's gonna keep flowing. You just gotta be careful because it also flows out of that little hole. Now, lucky for me, I've already emptied this tank, and what I put back in it came out of this jug, so it shouldn't blow it up. But you gotta be careful because if you have a full tank, like these trucks hold 28 gallons, better be ready. It takes a couple different containers. And of course, if it's good gas, you can save it and put it back in when you're done. but you definitely don't want the weight on this tank as you try to take it down. I just think it makes things more complicated. So what I did was, I've got a pretty sketchy setup here. My jack stand's not here, it's actually on the way here. My tall one to hold the back of the car. And so I've got a jack with a piece of metal that I'm using, and all I did was kind of jack up the back of the car a little bit on the lift, just enough to move that fuel forward. So that way it's in the front of the tank, and I can shove that to the front. So when you jack your car up, if you're not using a lift, make sure that you put it just a little lean on it so that you can get the fuel. I would make it easier in the front, I would think, just trying to have a short hose right there at the back of the tank, trying to get it in right here versus being able to just work that hose in all the way into the front. I don't know. This is my first time doing this, so I'm doing my best. All right, so far we've disconnected the hose line here, the fuel line here. There was a blue clip. And I dropped it right in the trash can. All right. And you just basically, it slides on. You slide it off easy, don't break the clips. And then you just pull the two apart. Be careful, gas will drain out. Now, looks like, and then there's a plug right here that goes back and it attaches to the gas tank back here. And it was just a push in and pull out back there. There seems to be one more main connection, and it is right here. And it looks like you just push it in and pull out, but it is giving me a hard time. It's just on the other side. Let me see if I can't get my camera. That one right there. Seems like you should be able to just push in and then get it out, but it's not going easy. So we'll keep working at it. All right, at this point, we're struggling to get that connected. Disconnected. Looks like there's 2 points you can disconnect it, either there or right here on the other side. I think what I'm gonna do is wait till I loosen the straps and lower the fuel tank down. Maybe make my life a little bit easier. I'm being a little impatient. So I'm gonna wait on my tools to get here, and then we'll continue. We've got it drained and we're in standby mode. Okay, so at this point we removed the 2 straps. They're 15mm bolts. Be careful, don't use an impact because you can break off the clips. They got little clips that hold them right here. Joe, where's that clip at?
One that broke?
No, the other one. There it is, hand it to me. See how these clips right here? Careful, they'll twist off and break. It's just a nut being held on by the clip. So I had to take a ratchet, stick my arm around the frame, and put a backer on the front one. So anyways, I got them off. Now we're gonna lower down the tank and see if we can get all the hoses disconnected. Showed you we got the straps. We lowered the tank down as we did. This one that I was fighting right here, I didn't have to undo. I just unclipped the hoses. So now we're gonna take the top, we've disconnected the power here so that we've got everything. We've got the tank we can work on. We're fixing to pull this part off the tank. We just gotta make sure that we get all of our stuff set up right where we know exactly where everything went in.
You were showing how we got it, you got it elevated?
Yeah, I mean, so we didn't have to disconnect this hose. We just used a toolbox and a bucket and a jack, so that, because otherwise this hose was being difficult and I was afraid I was gonna break something else. So I went with a little easier setup here. I think we're good now. So we got the plug goes that way.
Okay.
And then this is a 10mm here.
Yes.
Lord doesn't make it easy. Bam. Okay, so we got all the wires disconnected. We got these pushed, so you figure out these connectors. So you push them together and then you pull them off. The trick is to push extremely hard because they just open the plastic. They pinch the plastic together. And so you just pinch on both sides. This is the overflow hose right here. So I had to take that off so I could twist this enough to where I get both fingers on there. And then, so this is one set, and then the other hose is right here. And this actually feeds the engine. But on this one, there was a clip there that we took off right here. And then we pressed right there, and it was able to come off. So when you press it, you got to press hard. It's a pretty poor design, actually. But now we were able, that disconnected everything from the gas tank. So now we've got everything over here. And we're working on taking the sending unit off. So we've just got to slide it, take it, and slide it, but it's going to be a pain. So we're going to give it the old tap, tap, tap. Yeah. All right, so on review, to get this ring off, take a punch, put it on these clips, hammer, and you're gonna have to hit kind of hard. And once you do, it'll pop up, and then that ring will come off. And then there's an arrow to line everything up with. There'll be an arrow on the fuel pump, and there'll be an arrow on the fuel tank. So we'll check everything. We washed everything off. We're gonna wipe everything down here before we get too much further, so we don't get any dirt in there. Run another fuel pump. It went from, I mean, like, I didn't give it a whole lot of chance to test. Oh, I hate getting these things out of here. Always a pain. There it goes. Got a hose. Cyril, there's always something, you know what I mean? Where does that hose go to?
It's another one of them. See that?
Oh, I see now. Okay. Of course. One more.
One more. We gotta push in, right?
I hate this thing.
So don't you push it in though?
Yeah, you
press
push it
those.
in. Push these two down. Pull out. And you gotta have strong fingers. See if I can't get it out here where I can work on it a little better. But I don't think that's gonna happen. The nice thing about it is they do usually go on easier than they come off.
Yeah, they pop right on.
Right. Maybe a spare set of hands. Success. It just took a little bit of brute force. All right. I feel like if I let go of this hose, I'm gonna be fishing through it. Yes. But there's no option there. All right. She's out. Yeah.
Probably come with a new O-ring, didn't it?
I didn't see one in there. So it looks like we clean the O-ring. It looks like this notch.
You don't
goes
get
right
a new
here.
O-ring from Ford,
What's that?
and you don't get a new O-ring.
Yeah,
from
and you don't
Ford.
get a new O-ring from Ford. O'Reilly doesn't have this part, so that's fun too. So you have to get it basically from Ford. But we're gonna slide that in there. Once you got that in, we're gonna go straight. I feel like that's plastic. I feel like I need to take that off.
Yes.
All right, everything else looks good. I'm gonna grab that hose that we just fought off. Right here. We'll connect that right there. Locked on. We're good.
Oh, way easier when they come off.
There, but that was like that, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right, man.
So these are all latched. That's good. I'm leaving that plastic on there. And I think we're on. What do you think?
I think so too.
All right, sorry guys, we got busy yesterday and forgot to film the last little part of replacing the fuel tank after we got the sending unit back in it. But in a live test drive right now, we were in a hurry because we were leaving today to go from Texas to Alabama. So that's why we were in such a hurry to get everything done. Car's running great. On putting the tank back in, just reverse your steps. Everything goes together smooth because you don't have to fight the clips. You just push them together. But take your time, make sure everything's clipped in good, including the power, the wires for all the sensors and everything. Some of those take pretty hard pressure to get that clip on. You don't want to get everything back together and have a clip pop off. Also, the cover, the deal that protects the hoses on the top of the tank where the sending unit is, it's got the 3 studs with the 10 millimeter nuts that go on top of it. We were using it as a handle. You don't really need to do that. Once you take it off, you just use a punch to pop that ring off. Leave it off until you get the hoses reconnected. Otherwise, you can't connect the hoses. But remember to put it on, because we forgot. We lifted the tank up, got it almost secure. We had to pull it all back apart and drop the tank. So just make sure you've got it on there. It protects those hoses. And then this ended up curing the P0008A generic code for low pressure in the fuel system. And the check engine light went away. We test drove it last night. Like I said, we're in a long test drive today as we're headed from Texas to Alabama. But I hope this helps somebody. I hope I'll have better camera work on my next couple videos. As we're going across a bridge right now, my wife's driving. But next couple videos, I'll have better camera work. I'll have tripods and stuff. So again, thanks again for watching.